already know that they're going to answer to justice. They already know that they're going to be devoured. They already know. Their father has already told them. Their job is to take as many of you as they can with them. And to keep on putting up this facade. As if they are with the Creator. As if they have all of the wealth. As they have all of the life. That they have all of the creation. As if they rest within the Creator. But they need you to do it. That's why they keep manipulating you. They keep on selling you dreams. Because if they have you attached to the dream, they can create the dream with your light. You are the manifester. You are the creator. You are the non-ether being. The light rests within you. Life rests within you. They cannot do it without you. That's why everything is falling. Because the scales is imbalanced. And they know it. They know it. Elohim, stop letting y'all go through these pores, these portals, these gates, and these doors of wealth. They start talking to the ancestors, letting them know, y'all gotta stop writing these blood contracts, giving up y'all people. Keep letting them go through these doors, these gates, and these portals of wealth because y'all want temporary fulfillment and desire. It's only temporary. But what I'm giving to you is eternal because you're an eternal being. But there are things that you must do in order to rest within this internal being of self. Mind, body, and spirit. You have to be with your Creator. You have to be in alignment with your Creator. You have to be in alignment with Elohim. Because if you're not, you will get tricked out of your position. And they will use the very thing that makes you against you. And it's bringing them more wealth. Them more manifestations and creations. Them more life. Them more joy. And here you are being dragged on a leash. Because they need you close. Because if you're too far away, they will be devoured. And the more you guys see that they are dropping like flies, and that they are being devoured, the more you guys will wake up and understand you are the gift. You are the life. You are the light. You rest within the Creator. You are the co-creator. You are the non-ether being of the solar system. You come from light. You come from light to make life, to bring life. Wherever you go, you manifest life. You manifest wealth. You manifest abundance. You manifest an overflow of whatever it is that you bring into this world. That's what they don't want you to know. That's why they hid all your artifacts. That's why they hid everything about your history. That's why they scared as hell that all of this stuff is coming out. That's why they having a war amongst themselves. Because they trying to figure out who to blame. Because as they place blame, Elohim is taking them out. Taking them out. Taking them out. And they want y'all to get riled up. And they want y'all to initiate something. So y'all don't understand who actually moving on y'all behalf and making y'all think that y'all got power that y'all really don't have. It's not your doing that things are playing out like this. You're not the reason as to why things are playing out like this. You've been dumb this whole time. You've been asleep this whole time. It's Elohim that's moving. It's Elohim that's making these things happen in the background. That's making them cry out. and scream, wishing they was in hell. The hell that they made up. Stuck in an imprisonment of mental chaos and destruction. The same chaos and destruction that they put y'all in. They falling and they can't get up. They falling and they can't get up. See, it was different with you. Because you are a natural light being. So even in darkness, you can create light. Just a flicker of light, and it brings hope to keep you going day after day after day after day after day. They couldn't figure that shit out. They couldn't figure it out to save their life. They didn't know how you kept getting up. They didn't know how you kept getting up. They didn't know how they could put y'all through so many different things to destruct, to go extinct. And you keep getting up. And you keep getting up. They put y'all in void, y'all. They had y'all living in void for centuries. Ancestors living in void for centuries. And not understanding how you continuously manifest. How you continuously get back up. How you continuously have hope. How you continuously to have that light that's lit. How? How is it possible? They've been studying your ass for years, trying to figure it out. But Elohim said that time and that course has already run. They still ain't figured that shit out yet. Why? Because they just don't understand that you are. You are who you are. Because you come from I am. And because you come from I am, you are I am too. This God nature about you. Peace, God, be still. It's because of your Father. It is because of Elohim. You are a non-ether being, a light being. Everything within Mother Gaia is embedded within who you are. All of the 4 elements is within who you are. Everything about you comes from the divine, comes from Mother Nature. And now Elohim has already given word to spit them out. If they don't belong, spit them out. And for those of you that's out of alignment with Mother Nature, for those who are out of alignment with your co-creator and your creator, Elohim, you're going to get devoured too. So don't get too excited. If you sold out, if your ancestors sold out, if y'all signed them blood contracts, if you ain't right them wrongs, you are getting devoured. You and your ancestors getting devoured. That's why it's a whole ancestor war going on in it. That's why there's a whole ancestor war going on in the cosmos. On a 4D plane, in 4 dimension. It's ancestors crying out right now. Because Elohim is reading it off one by 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 one. You ain't stand your ground. You sold your light. You getting devoured. You and your ancestors devoured. Gone. Bloodlines gone. Lineages gone. Gone. I'm talking about gone. Because y'all wanted temporary wealth. Temporary success. Making it seem like you above. Making it seem like you got this superiority. Making it seem like, oh no. Nah. And I just want to keep it real funky with y'all right now. Elohim said, anybody that has an excessive amount of wealth, I didn't give it to them. Anybody that has an excessive amount of wealth, I didn't. And they shall be devoured because they sold out. Either they self-sabotaging to their own destruction. Either they getting taken out, or they getting devoured by the same people that they try to go against me for. Because this is much bigger than just physical wealth, y'all. This is all spiritual. Either you for Elohim or you against Elohim. And nobody walks through the doors, the gates, the portals of wealth without Elohim and not be devoured. Elohim said, I designed that. I systematically put that in place when I put y'all in captivity. Because we want to go back in time. You want me to tell you when the beginning, when it actually really started happening? When non-ether beings start selling their soul for wealth, for temporary wealth. It's happened since the beginning of time, y'all. And it's like, it's been that way since the beginning of time. It's not that hard for y'all to read into it. Non-ether beings always had a problem with seeing themselves as worthy. Seeing themselves as worthy. So they always try to cling to follow the leader. It's like for some reason they just couldn't obey Elohim. They couldn't accept Elohim as being the creator. They had to have a king or somebody in place to give orders, to give them rules and regulations, as if they didn't know what to do on their own. Y'all already by nature are abundant people. So you are already by nature wanting extravagant things, because it's by nature that you're designed that way. It's by nature that you're designed that way, to have the best of the best of the best. And these people know this about y'all. So they've created all of these man-made luxuries to entice the eyes. Don't get distracted, y'all. The Earth's core is bleeding right now. The Earth's core is bleeding right now, y'all. I'll expand on that later. But yeah, the Earth's core is bleeding right now. The Earth's core is bleeding right now. Everything is under judgment right now. Whether it be people, whether it be Mother Gaia, whether it be any elemental force within nature, whether it be any spirit being that exists, whether it be on this plane or any other plane of existence, is under judgment. Even our ancestors is under judgment. That's why it's very imperative for our ancestors in this time and this place to make sure that they do their due diligence in doing what they've been asked to do. breaking curses, breaking generational curses, righting wrongs, whatever that may be. Whatever that may be. Healing eternally, so the eternal being can be, see, fulfill, create, and live within a higher self, of a higher consciousness of self, mind, body, and spirit. So with the things that y'all about to experience and the things that y'all about to see come to light in regards to who we are as non-ether beings, like, it's going to be released, and it's about to be released at a pace that's going to be so rapid and so transformative and so enlightened. And it's going to seem as though it's like it happened overnight, but in actuality, they already had a timestamp, and they've been trying to put off this timestamp. They've already overgone the timestamp, which is why so many catastrophic events is happening, right? And they've been debating in the background about releasing this truth, because they know how transformative this truth would be to reveal who we are as non-ether beings, as being melanated people. How this will awaken a nation to the dark secrets of the Americas, the dark secrets of nations of people. This don't just have to do with Spaniards or Europeans, or having to do with anybody of Asiatic descent, whatever it may be, y'all. Like, it is even Arabians. Like, it's much bigger than that. It's much bigger than that. This is spiritual, y'all. It has much more to do with the spirituality of a thing than what's happening in the physical, because it happened above, but before below. What happens above happens below. Above, so below. And I can break this down to y'all and tell y'all how these people study our own history. They study our history, our Egyptian history, our Akkadian history, our Assyrian history, our Syrian history. They studied us. Because they were told by their God to study us. Because of who we are and who we're connected to. When you're disconnected from source, when you're disconnected from Elohim, it disconnects you from everything else. And we as non-ether beings, we have to be connected to source. We have to be. It's who we are. It's who we are in nature. It's who we are in nature. We're connected to source. We're connected to Elohim. And that's what they hate about us. And this is what they've been studying us. This is why they've been studying us. Because they want to know what makes us so different from them. But it's just who our Creator is. And in comparison of who their Creator is. They was born out of rebellion and destruction. We were born out of light and creation. There is a spiritual war going on. And it's happening above. And it is so below. But the time is ticking. And it's getting closer and closer and closer to it's getting closer and closer and closer as ever. And when I say that the earth core is bleeding, it's because it is bleeding. By fire and by power, y'all. You have to be marked by Elohim in order to survive what's going to happen. Your ancestors, your generations to come has to be marked by Elohim in the times to come. In order to be able to survive what's going to transpire here on Mother Gaia. It's the mark. It says the mark of the beast. Yeah, you can be marked by the beast, but you also can be marked by Elohim, the light source. Because it's the light source that's going to take over by fire and by power. Confirmation. By fire and by power. 10:04 on the clock. By fire and by power. And y'all gonna see it is definitely gonna be a lot of things that y'all gonna see that's really gonna have y'all really questioning life, questioning people, questioning the intentionality of people, and how they could keep something so important from a people from knowing who they are in order to stay in control, in order to dominate, in order to have a falsified dominion of territory over something that was never theirs to begin with. If we were to take back what was ours, there would be nothing for them. If we were to take back what is ours, there would be nothing for them. There would be no light. They would have to go back in the darkness from which they came. Anywhere where Ra shines his light is ours to claim. Anywhere where Ra shines his light is our dominion, is our territory. As non-ether beings. Anywhere where light shines. Anywhere where Ra shines is our dominion and our territory. And that's what the masses is being awakened to. Because the time is now. Now is the time. Now is the time. So if you've been hearing me say that, it's because I've been trying to warn y'all and tell y'all that now is the time. It's much bigger than the physicality of materialistic things. It's much more bigger than that. This has to do with spirituality. It has to do with the spirit war. The ethereal war. The ethereal war. The things unseen. Most people will try to figure out things through proof and through science and through so many different things to try to bring enlightenment, to help people, to help those who lack the ethereal sense. Not everybody has that etheric sense. Not everybody is born with that ethereal body. That ethereal body goes, the ethereal body meaning that 8th chakra is four compartments of that ethereal body. It's 4 compartments of that ethereal body. So that 8th chakra, which is the ethereal body, is broken up into 4 compartments. It's 4 compartments. And those 4 compartments is what connects you to source. Is what connects you to Elohim, the creator, the sovereign Lord. the King of all kings, the Lord of all lords. The beginning, the end. And that's what they can't connect with. That's why they use all of this scientific evidence and science to try to make sense of what they have no sense of. To make sense of what they do not have sense of. Most of them lack the sixth sense, and most of them need a non-ether being who has sold their soul in order to be able to give them informative information in regards to the ethereal body, because they lack the ability to tap into that sense. So they don't have connection with that sixth sense. So they have what they call the matriotic system, that matriotic system, that matrix, the technology, the AI system. So they can pull on certain information in order to be able to learn you, in order to make it feel like that they know just as much as you, or they're in tune or in alignment just as much as you. But they've lied, they've cheated, they've destroyed, they've killed, they've stolen, they've robbed. Not just your physical inheritance, but your spiritual inheritance as well. Manipulating your own knowledge, your own gifts, your own ancient knowledge and information against you in order to be able to control you. So they can observe you. So they can study you. Their master already of knowing that they cannot defeat the Most High, but knowing that they cannot defeat the Most High, but they can defeat you if you don't know who you're connected to. Because if you don't know who you're connected to, you do not know how to use certain skills in order to be able to hone in and exude the power and the strength and the force that's within you, within your ethereal body, with those four compartmentalizations of fire, earth, wind, and water. They already have non-ether beings who have sold their soul in order to be able to gain a physical inheritance here on Mother Gaia. They sell their spiritual gifts to these people. They give their soul to these people so they can draw on their light, so they can draw on their knowledge, so they can draw on their gifts, so they can draw on their power to be able to hone in on what you already have naturally. So they can have control over you as a non-ether being. See, this is much more bigger than just physical inheritance. This is spiritual. This is spiritual. Why they tell you not to play in the shadows, not to do certain things, and they create these religions that's around what you should not do or what you can't do, or how certain things like this is a cult, this is occultism, this is this is that. When in true reality, they don't want you to use your gifts that you've been naturally given, because you'll be able to use your gifts against them, and they don't want you to use your gifts against you because they want to use your gifts against you. So they tell you what to believe and what to think, and they manipulate your mind making you believe that you going against your father, because they know how much you love your father. They know how much you love your Elohim. They know how much they know if they put these rules and these regulations and these commandments and all of these different things that you must be obedient to in order to stay in alignment with Elohim, in order to be able to be close to the Father, then you will obey, because you know that as a non-ether being, the most important thing for you to do is to remain close to source, to remain close to your Father, to your Abba, to Elohim. So they tell you, in order for you to stay close to your Elohim, you cannot use your gifts that you've been naturally given. You cannot use your non-ether, you cannot use your ethereal body in no capacity, because then that means that you're going to be going against your Elohim. And you will be condemned for going against your Elohim if you use what you've already been given by birth. What they've been doing is not manipulation in the physical. No, baby, they've been manipulating you spiritually to keep control over you. Emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually. They've had you guys in a prison, in a chokehold for centuries. And Elohim said, enough is enough. Enough is enough. It shall not go on any longer. My children shall not suffer at the hands of these beings any longer. This is much bigger than the physical. This is much bigger than the physical. No, baby, this is spiritual. You were meant to hold in on your ethereal body in the four compartmentalizations of who you are spiritually as a non-ether being. You were meant to hone in on your gifts that you've been given. They are spiritual gifts. This is not occultism. This is not witchery. This is not saintism. No, this is who you are. This is who you are. This is who you've always been. They've just been manipulating you, not just physically, but spiritually, to keep you under control. And then they sit and they draw these contracts up, these blood contracts, because they know how y'all like shiny stuff. If we tell them we'll give them the world in the physicality, but they got to hand over those spiritual gifts and allow for us to use those gifts against their people, against them, you know they'll give it up. And y'all do. Y'all fall for it. Every single time. Y'all fall for it. Every time they come with another shiny contract, another shiny contract, a new settlement to your rights, your God-given rights, your birth, your birthright, your inheritance. And they giving you a settlement on what you can do and what you can't do with it. Elohim said no more of it. No more of it. And the more of my chosen that I wake up, all I need is 144,000 of them. All I need is 144,000 of them to wake up. And to realize who they are. And to come into their true power. And to stop allowing themselves to be manipulated. Spiritually, they'll never have to live under the control of a people who have been condemning them both spiritually and physically. But see, I, Elohim, I shall introduce them to who is and who has always been and who will always be the Most High Creator. Because see, the time is now. The time is now. Do not settle. Do not sell yourself short. Do not get all excited because all of this information that has been there the whole entire time is now being given publicly to the masses. This is just the beginning. I said, this is just the beginning. And Elohim is happy that you come into this truth. Elohim is happy that you guys are beginning to wake up. But don't you go thinking that you can walk through those portals and gates and doors of wealth without him. Without him. But you could, because you cannot. Because you will be devoured. You will be devoured. You will be devoured. Elohim said, I will decide when you get restoration in the physicality. But you will not get restoration in the physicality until I get you justice in the spiritual first. Because what they did to you in the spiritual has to do with what they did to your father and how they went against your father. They became my enemy when they came after you spiritually. Because spiritually, you are mine. Spiritually, you are connected to me. Now, what they do to you in the physicality has to do with your co-creator. That has to do with Mother Gaia. And that's where the blood contracts come from. Because you got to go back to the beginning of the beginning of the beginning of time. Mother Gaia get judgment too. Mother Gaia get judgment too. And yes, I said it. Universal laws can be manipulated because they've been manipulating them all of these years. All of these centuries. Universal laws can be manipulated. If you know the laws. If you know the loopholes. If you know how to get around it. How do you get around universal laws? You make people sell out on themselves. You make people underestimate themselves. You make people give up on themselves. You make people hand themselves on a platter. That's how you make them self-sabotage. That's how you can get around universal laws. Because it's not done to you. It's not done to you without your own knowledge, baby. Oh, you know. You've just been manipulated. You've just been a fool. And a fool can only be a fool with what they do not know. And what you do not know is because you did not seek. And what you did not seek, you did not find. And what you did not find is because you wasn't seeking Elohim. So it wasn't revealed to you through Holy Spirit. And you didn't want to be guided through Christ consciousness.